most intriguing night was the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
They take Ace Bailey with the 5th pick. So many questions with what Ace Bailey, his destiny was going to be tonight, ends up going to Utah where he did not want to go. And then they trade up from 21 to 18 with 2 second-round picks to get Walter Clayton, who a lot of people expected to go to the Miami Heat with the 20th pick. King, what do you think about Utah's overall night with what they came away with Ace Bailey here and Walter Clayton?
You know, we talked about it on the show, and I love it. I mean, I am a huge Walter Clayton fan. When you look at some of the shots that he was able to hit when it came down to the NCAA tournament, matter of fact, all year, his sample size was massive. But that he had one of the most historic, greatest tournament runs that we have seen in a very, very long time. He shoots the ball off the dribble so well, particularly from deep, which I think is a skill that a lot of college guards do not possess. But not only that, the range in which he shoots them from, I think is elite. I think that Walter Clayton is the steal of the draft in the first round. And Ace Bailey, I mean, we know that he has his flaws. However, this is a guy that can be a star. He has star potential when you look ahead at how good he can be. So I think the Utah Jazz had a really, really good night. And don't forget Will Riley, who has potential through the roof as well.
You just say you called Walter Clayton Steph-esque. And Vinny, like, you took issue with that. But
Esque was doing a lot of work.
It's doing a lot of work, but like I think King is fair to say that because he was Steph-esque in the tournament. He's not going to necessarily be Steph in the NBA, but when you think about shot-making guard, Ace Bailey, shot-making wing, like, how do you think this fit is for the Jazz in the direction they're going now with Austin Ainge at GM?
Is the tank over? That's the question. You have to ask the Utah Jazz, are you serious about winning now, or are you still back in developmental stage? We have to keep losing. I'm surprised Walter Kessler is still there. Like, Walter Kessler is still there. You know what I mean? Like, the thinking of, maybe this will be the time that the Lakers make a trade and they go there. And it didn't happen.
A lot of teams could use a big.
Absolutely. Yes. But once again, John Collins picked up his contract, his option, and Larry Markkinen, maybe next year's a bounce back year. Do you have enough space for all of these elements to grow and for you to be a good to decent team? Or is it just, let's go and throw them out there, fight for your minutes, and we will figure everything else out on the back end?
I mean, to me, I think with Ace Bailey, it could be a blessing in disguise for him ending up in Utah. Like, I know it sounds like he wanted to stay on the East Coast. There's a lot of talk about him going to the Wizards with the 6th pick, and then it was a bit of a surprise he goes to the Jazz for the 5th pick. But I think Will Hardy's a really good head coach. I think they get a good system there for him to grow into. And there's, like you said, they're not good by any means, but there's some veterans. Larry Markkinen, John Collins is 27 at this point. Colin Sexton had a really good year for them. Like, there's a lot of good quality pieces for him to grow alongside. It's not like he's going to a team where there's nothing there. I think he's going to be forced to kind of adapt on this team within their system. And I think with Walter Clayton, it's interesting. Like, does it say something about Keontae George? You're a Baylor guy as well. Does it say something about Isaiah Collier that they go for another guard here and add him to the pile now with all the young guys that they have that haven't really quite panned out?
Yeah, I mean, I think Walter Clayton is better than both those guys because I think the two things that
the shooting.
I think the shooting is a key aspect, but also he's a winner. So you provide winning to a team that desperately needs it because Ace Bailey, I mean, he's talented, but he is not a winner. As of right now, he's not a winner.
Can he grow winning qualities, you think?
So that's why
you covered him last year in college.
So that's why I wish he would have went somewhere like Washington.
So you don't like this fit with Utah?
Well, it's not that I don't like it. It's just that I wish that he had more veterans around him to help him understand how to win. I think this is a great place for him to be able to go be a star, like a star from day one. Ace Bailey living up to the hype, being an amazing player, but he can be a star but still be a loser at the same time. So I think that he's in a situation where he can go get buckets. He can go take those tough shots. But will he ever win anything? I don't know. We saw that at Rutgers. He hit tough shots, but he was never, ever a winner. And I think that is the problem, which is why I would like to see him around more vets, more veteran guys who can teach him how to win, because I don't know if he will ever learn how to win, especially being in Utah.
Vinny, there was a lot of talk before the draft that the Wizards really liked Ace Bailey at 6.
Yeah.
Were there any other teams that you heard like really connected Washington, New Orleans at 7. Were there any like sleepers for him or anything?
Those
those
two,
two?
Washington, New Orleans. Some people thought that New Orleans might have been engaging in a little subterfuge there and saying, hey, tank all of your stuff and you'll fall down to us at 7, because there was no path for New Orleans to get up to 5 or 4. So, yeah, that was it. But here's the thing, guys. We all know the question marks throughout the draft process and his agent and then the losing. And you're not sure. Like you said, were you part of a losing team or are you a losing player? That is always the biggest question mark when you have one and done players, because you don't have the large enough sample size to be able to judge and say, are you a talented guy that doesn't contribute to winning? Are you a guy who influences winning? Or are you a guy who drives winning? There's one driver of winning in this draft, and probably a couple of influencers, but there's one driver of winning.